Ashton, who was an inveterate writer of letters to the editor of the Times, funnily enough, and a tender of graveyards, of gravestones. So he went around London's graveyards looking for ones that were in bad condition and complaining about it to all the authorities. But he was also a wonderful composer. He was born in Durham in 1859, and as you will hear from this Arioso, he wrote terrific tunes. He studied in Germany, and you can hear the German influence, I think, in his music. He's part of the sort of Schubert-Schumann lyrical tradition. There are about 118 opus numbers of his music published. What we don't have are his 4 symphonies and concertos for cello, violin, and piano, because they quite literally went up in smoke. And he wrote 24 string quartets in each of the major minor keys. And all his unpublished music, he lived in a house in North London. It was bombed in the war. He died about 1938, I think, 36. And all his manuscripts disappeared in the fire. So that's what we think happened. But anyway, you can judge from this short piece, which is exquisite, I think, what we might have missed, what we have missed, in the works that we've lost. There's still, as I say, quite a lot of wonderful music to be discovered. We don't have Mrs. Ashton here to talk to. We do have Mrs. Stephen Dodgson, Jane Clark, to whom I will now sit down and address a few questions. I knew Stephen only vaguely, bumping into him at concerts and that kind of thing. And he struck me as being, as far as I could judge, warm and slightly shy. And his music rather suggests that that isn't too inaccurate an impression. Am I right or wrong?
He's certainly warm, but I don't know if anyone would agree, but I don't think he was shy. In fact, I think he was rather the opposite. I'm sorry about that.
No, I mean, that's why I asked.
No, he'd happily bowl in with anyone.
Mm-hmm. But the music has got this Malcolm MacDonald, who perhaps because he was a Scotsman like me, had a certain distance, described English 20th century English music as a kind of pained pastoralism, pained lyricism. And I think there is something of that in Stephen's music.
Yes, that's true, yes.
Yeah.
But he didn't wear his heart on his sleeve, though, even though he wasn't shy.
But I found, especially with the quintet CDs, I won't talk about the music here tonight because you'll hear it yourselves, but we have a CD in the pipeline of these 2 piano quintets and string quintet. And I found I had to listen to it several times before I really got to know the music. It doesn't come out to meet you, does it?
Some of it does, but he was very good at writing things for children that hit you straight away, and the children, they love it. But I agree with you with an awful lot of what he wrote, but it's not true of all of it. But a lot of it you do have to listen several times.
Now, you're not just Mrs. Stephen Dodgson, you're also Jane Clark.
Oh, but not tonight. I'm Mrs. Stephen Dodgson.
No, wait, well, hang on. I'm asking Jane Clark tonight because John Warwick says in his programme notes for the CD that living with a Baroque specialist introduced something of the Baroque into Stephen's own music. Would you say that's true?
Well, he was always interested in unaccompanied choral music from, Palestrina onwards, and he wrote for the harpsichord before I ever knew him, because he was at the Royal College of Music with Stanislav Heller, who was a very brilliant Czech refugee harpsichordist. And I think it was Stanislav who introduced him to Baroque music rather than me, because he seemed to me to know a lot about it by the time I met him. And he certainly didn't write for the harpsichord because of me, but for instance, he got to know Francois Couperin because of me, and like me, he got completely hooked. But he already knew Scarlatti and Bach and Handel, and so I think, well, I had a certain amount of input, but not originally. I think that was him.
But did you sit down and talk fugues over the cornflakes?
No.
No?
Well, he was interested in Couperin's theatrical aspect. He quizzed me about that. But
for his own compositions?
No, just out of interest.
Right.
But on the whole, we didn't talk about music. We talked about many more interesting things than music.
How conscious were you of living with a composer? Did you talk about the works in progress, or did he disappear into his study and then come out and want to talk about the football or something?
Well, when I first knew him, he used to bash away He was an enthusiastic and inaccurate pianist, like most composers, as Ephraim Neiman said, but he used to play through things. And gradually, I think he got more confident and didn't bother. He occasionally played something through to somebody he'd written it for, but and he would tell me a certain amount of what he was doing. But and he talked about it with other composers. I think the trouble was I wasn't capable of talking about it on his level, so he waited till he met John Gardner or somebody, or Joe Horowitz, and off they'd go, while we wives disappeared into the kitchen.
So you weren't always aware that what he'd be working on, or?
Oh, no, not always. It depended.
Yeah.
He wrote a certain number of things just for his own pleasure, about which I knew nothing till I found it all in the cupboard, dying for first performances. Mostly vocal music, because he loved setting words. But I knew perfectly well if he was writing a guitar concerto or a wind band piece, and when it got to reading the proofs, he was horribly bad-tempered. He hated it, and I dreaded that bit. But while he was working on his own, he just disappeared at 9 o'clock and came and ate some lunch at 1 o'clock.
Did he not call you to the piano to say, can you play through this with me to see how it works, to see how the harmonies work or anything like that?
No, never, even to start with. I mean, he just used to thump through them, only sometimes, though.
Right. Well, shall we shut up and let them get on with it?
Yes.
Okay.
That's right. Fed him at 1 o'clock.
Thank you very much.